Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Love Her podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We're so excited to have you back for another episode. Last week was a little hectic when it came to recording, so as you all know, we did not put out an episode, but as we are approaching this new week and also being in the heat of retrograde, we wanted to be a bit more casual this week, so we are in our robes. We're just going to sit and yap. So if you are also having a rough week or you are feeling like having casual conversation, headed to work, whatever, grab you a cup of coffee, maybe a glass of wine, and join the conversation with us.
Yeah, and sometimes we're talking about super heavy things, but I feel like sometimes it's good to just keep it light. I mean, there are so
Yeah.
many things that I do in my life that are just mindless and light. Like, to be honest, I've been watching a lot of Caesar Milan. You guys know I just got a dog, and he's a dog trainer, the dog whisperer, okay? And doing
Okay.
things like that, where you're just like observing something that's not stressful, that's mindless, is so important to do every single day.
Yeah, that's why I'm kind of addicted to reality TV. That's something that I'm not the most proud of because it is a lot of drama, it is a lot of gossip, and I'm so big on doing things that bring you to the highest version of yourself and being so absorbed in those things. I am self aware is not always the best way to become the highest version of yourself, but it's so mindless for me that I feel like as long as I know that that's not what I want to become and that's not a model that I'm following, I don't see it ruining any aspect of my life as of now. Well, I don't know where
Yeah.
we'll be in a few years.
Yeah, personally, me, I'm a big Love is Blind fan. I like
Yeah.
religiously watch them when they come out. So the newest season just came out. Did you watch it?
I haven't, but I've heard a lot of things about it, so I need to catch up.
Okay, well, you have to watch it. But what I kind of do is I have 1 hour every night where I'm like, okay, this is like my guilty pleasure hour. Whether it's reading my favorite romance book or watching reality TV or baking cookies, from 8 to 9, I'm going to do something that's just something that I want to do that is a guilty pleasure.
I love that you like schedule out your day. Like, would you say that most of your days are pretty much the same? Or like you try to keep a consistent schedule pretty much every day during the week?
I would say every day is different from the other, but every week is the same. So, like, for
Okay.
example, Wednesdays, I try to go to a coffee shop and do work there. And I'll switch it up. I'll go to different coffee shops. Like I do small things to switch it up, but I try to be like, okay, Monday's a day where I'm gonna do this workout class and I want to get these extra things done outside of work. Obviously, work is Monday through Friday, but I have set things that I like to do every day. But I'd say my nighttime routine is like, okay, I'm gonna take a bath, I'm gonna cook dinner, and then I'm gonna have my guilty pleasure hour.
Listen, this is why you are ready to be a mom, and this is why you've become a dog mom, because my week, not a single week is the same, not a single day is the same. But I'm okay with that until I realize I'm a little stressed. I don't know what's going on. I need a schedule, and then I maybe stick to a schedule for like 2, 3 weeks. And then I go back into, but that's so funny how we're so different in that aspect because Mackenzie and I are very spontaneous people. Like, we are very sporadic. It's funny, my birthday's next month. I sent out the birthday invite, and so many of our friends were like, wow, a month in advance? Because for like the past 2 years, we've said like the week of, hey, we're doing a party, be there or be square kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it works for me. And like I said, a lot of the things that I do now work for me now, but I feel myself needing to make adjustments in this 26 year of life. So I find it so fascinating that you're like, I try to set aside a certain time to do this because I don't set aside anything ever. Like, I attempt to, and a lot of times, you know how I like to do yoga? We both have really
Hmm.
connected in that way this year. I've realized I cannot book a yoga class more than 8 hours in advance. I've actually just started booking them the hour before.
But what if they fill up?
They don't normally, and because I use ClassPass, if they do, I could just go find another studio.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So, I mean, I say that I'm type C. You know, there's type A, type B, type C. That's the most type C thing I could be doing.
What's type C? We all know type A is like very structured, type B is not structured. What's type C?
So type C is kind of something that I probably made up,
No,
or
I
maybe
think
I
it's a
saw it
real thing.
somewhere.
I think it's a real thing.
So I think that type C is kind of a combination of type A and B. Like, I am OCD about certain things. Like, I do like to have a clean house. When I am planning things, I like to have a plan. But I also could not care less sometimes. I don't have the energy. I don't really care. It is what it is. But it really just depends. Like, when it comes to my outfits, I like to have my hair tip top shape. I like to have my clothes looking really, really nice. I don't care where we go, though. I don't care what time we get there, you know? So I feel like that's type C, whereas you're not type A about everything, but there are certain things like you have your things, but you're also type B about certain things too. Whereas type A, you know, you need a schedule, you need to know where you're going, everything needs to be in line. Whereas type B is like, I don't care, you know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
show up how I show up and when I show up.
But I would say to some degree, everyone's type C. I mean, like most people are, because I think most,
Yeah,
like, I'm very structured about my day to day, especially the weekdays, because I like to make sure I get what I want to do done. But with the
yeah.
weekends, I never have a plan. I don't know what we're doing any weekend ever.
Yeah, literally. That's so true. I do see that. I also see the people that are very type A and they're like, if there isn't a plan, I'm not going. And I could never be that person. Or maybe I like partially make the plan, even if I am going, you know, and I want something
Yeah.
planned out. I'm not gonna plan it to a T. I'm never gonna plan my week to a T. And but that's something that I realized I could get more of from you because if I want to be this successful business owner, it's like, how are people doing that, you know?
Not in retrograde, girl. Not in retrograde.
Not in retrograde. Definitely not during this week, okay? And this is one of those weeks where I felt that because Mackenzie and I recently got a cleaner. I don't know if I told you that.
Mm-mm.
So we got a cleaner. She comes every other week. And I crack jokes saying all the time that that has saved our relationship because I am particular about the house and I do like it clean. And, you know, when we host a lot and stuff, and I feel like I like it a certain way, I like the bathroom to be ready and things like that. But, you know, when you move in with somebody else, it's if they're not as into cleaning as much as you are, you end up doing all of the work because they don't care as much, you know? Like to
Yeah.
leave their shoes out, they're not worried to put it away, but if you want the shoes away all the time, you're the one doing it. So instead of us trying to keep the house tip top shape all the time, our life coach actually suggested that we get a cleaner. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And with the cleaner, I've been able to like maintain versus having to find one day every week or so to make sure I clean the entire house. But this is the first week in like a month where I've let the laundry get a little bit overflowing, you know, let the dishes kind of sit for a little bit longer than they've been. But that's retrograde.
Yeah, sometimes you have to rest. And hiring a cleaning person is so smart. It's so
It's
smart.
the best. Yeah.
Because I'm a big proponent of some things really are just worth the money. Like
Mm-hmm.
when we have children, we are going to have to hire someone to do our laundry because
Yeah.
it's two of us now and that
Yeah.
shit piles up. So I'm like, I am a firm believer that sometimes you just have to spend the money on the things if you can.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what our life coach said. Like, she was like, do you think that people that are wealthy and successful are doing everything by themselves? Like, she was like, those moms that seem like they have it all together, you think they're cleaning their house and they have a business and they're being a full-time mom? No. They have help with the kids. They have help around the house. They have an assistant with their job. Like, as long as you're paying people their value, that cleaner has a business of her own and you are feeding into her business. So
Yeah.
she's happily coming into your house and helping you clean. So yeah, honestly, I tell everybody, I'm like, it is the best thing we could have ever done because as soon as she leaves, it's like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders. I'm like, oh, it smells so good in here. We can just hang out, and I know it's just everything in here is clean. To like better than I could have cleaned it, you know? So totally worth it. Highly, highly recommend.
Honestly, we may need to take that up, especially with having a dog now, because when you have an
Yes.
animal, you have to deep clean times five. Just
Yeah.
because animals are inherently a little nasty. Love him, but like he is a little nasty, so I gotta be cleaning, you know?
Animals and men.
Yes. The other day, though, oh my God, yesterday. So I think another thing is when you move in with someone, like it's about buying the household things like paper towels and sponges, just those things that you need, but you run out of all the time. And so I was
Hmm.
like, hey, Luke, can you order some new sponges? We get the Scrub Daddies. Can you order some new Scrub Daddies on Amazon? And he was like, yeah. And he was spending 30 minutes. He's like, should I get the 8 pack, the 6 pack? Should I get the multicolored? I was like, honey, they're sponges. Come on now.
I freaking love that because sometimes when we talk about Luke and Mackenzie, obviously Mackenzie's a woman, but she has so many characteristics that are like men in our lives because she's very much in her masculine energy. She does the same thing. I'm like, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Do we have to observe every little thing? But there is so a pro to that because when she does plan out things for me, like I feel like Luke is so thoughtful in his gifts that he
Yeah.
gets, and Mackenzie is so thoughtful in like the things that she plans for us,
Hmm.
date nights, parties, our engagement, like because she's thinking of every single aspect where I'm like, we gotta if I plan a party, I'm like, we got the caterer. I don't even need to try the food. Like, we have food. You know what I mean? Like when we were planning for our birthday, she's like, should we get like the should we get like a spinach pizza and should we get like a this pizza, the meat lovers? I'm like, cheese and pepperoni.
That's all we need, paper plates.
Literally. She's like, but what about the vegetarians? I'm like, cheese. No drunk person is going to care whether or not there is buffalo chicken or pepperoni on that pizza.
That's so true.
They're just gonna eat it.
That's so true. The drunk meals are just whatever's there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, I don't care. Cheese or pepperoni, but she's like, no, 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 we gotta get the white sauce. And I'm like, so are you labeling them? Like, are they gonna sift through the boxes? Like, how does this make sense? But I'm like, whatever. You're getting the pizzas, get whatever flavor you want. It'll just be mystery pizza for me. Like, whatever I pick up.
See, there's the type C.
Yeah, exactly. That's so funny. But I am curious to know, how have you been doing during this retrograde? How has it been treating you? What have you been doing to cope?
I think it's been just a lot of staying home, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
for me, the energy very much has just been staying in and adjusting to the new routine because we did get a dog like right before retrograde started. And it took a few days to really know him and know like his routine and how he kind of moves. And the thing is, you learn fast that with dogs, it's pretty, especially puppies, it's pretty much just sleep, bathroom, play, bathroom, eat. Like it's everything with the bathroom mix in between. And once I got that down, it was like, okay, we're getting a flow on it. But
Right.
still the energy is still just staying at home, getting used to him, and Luke and I getting used to like how we take care of the dog together and how we delegate certain tasks. I also have been noticing that since retrograde started, I've been so much more sleepy and I have been allowing
Mm-hmm.
myself to sleep later in the mornings. Usually I wake up at like 5:45, but like this morning I woke up at 7:30. It's just you got to get your sleep in.
Yeah. Okay, wait. First, can we please see Simba?
Oh, yes. I actually don't know where he is. So.
I was gonna say, it looks like you lost him over there.
I know. Say
Hello.
hi.
He has he has Luke's face.
You have your dad's face. Oh, you're
Luke
resting
is
on mom's
literally a golden
shoulder.
retriever.
You're resting on mom's shoulder. Yeah, he does like being held, but we have had to put him in air jail a few times because
A-
he
Air gel.
yeah, when they're being bad and you just hold them up in the air so they can't keep being bad.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of it. I don't want to put him in it because
No.
he'll be sad, but you just literally it like okay, so puppies bite a lot because they're teething, so they just
Right.
like bite you all the time. And when he's biting too much, I just lift him up in the air and he stops.
Aw, Simba. Is he teething?
Yeah, he is. He's getting his big
Oh,
boy
he's
teeth.
so cute. Well, I can't wait to meet him in person. I'm gonna have to make a trip to Charlotte to come just to meet
Yes.
Simba.
Yes, you have to meet him while he's still little.
Well, especially because it's warming up now. I bet you it's like so much fun there.
He's not vaccinated yet because he's too little. We can't let him on the ground
Oh,
outside.
is that why you have the wagon?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is so cute.
And he loves the wagon. Like he'll just sleep in it and it's good when we take him out in public.
That is so cute. I was gonna say, if you guys have not checked out Simba's Instagram and TikTok, go check it out. He's literally a dog model.
He is.
The gram, the socials, people love him. But yeah, that's Simba. New family member, new baby of the fam.
Yes. Yes. And Naya, I did want to ask you as well, how are you kind of navigating retrograde and the different challenges, the exhaustion, the little hiccups that comes up through it?
Yeah, so similar to what you said when you said you've been so tired, I also really shoot for like a 5, 5:30, 5:45 just to get up and be able to meditate before too much goes on in the house when Mackenzie gets up for work and things like that. I like to have my time and my moment. By the way, fun fact, you save energy when you wash clothes between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. Yeah, Karen
What?
told me that when I was, yeah. She told me, first, she said you should get a cleaner. And second, she said, wash your clothes. Try to wash your clothes every day so that it's less overwhelming with two people going to the gym, three different outfits a day. But do it between 8 p.m. and 7 a.m. because for some reason, the water bill or has something, I actually saw a TikTok about it like a few days before she told me. Something to do with like the energy, the water bill, whatever. You save so much money doing it within that time. So that was like my routine for about a month. I'd wake up at 5 a.m. I'd do a little laundry. I'd do a load. I'd go meditate. I'd light the candle, sage the house, whatever. This last week, no, no. Like, and I think that's why the house kind of has fallen. I don't want to say fallen to the wayside because that's not what's happened, but it's just not as clean on a day to day as it's been within the last month because I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. That's an extra 2 hours of my day that I get,
Yeah.
especially because I go into the office. Like this morning, I woke up at 7:30, just like you did yesterday. I think I woke up at like 7 yesterday, but I'm like, what is going on? I think it really is just this period where we need to rest. Like yesterday, Mackenzie wanted to go to this jazz night that they have on the Beltline, which, if you live in Atlanta, the Beltline on a beautiful day is amazing. If you know, you know, and I love it. Anytime we want to go, like I never say no. I literally got in the house yesterday and she was like so excited. She's like, we'll do dinner and then we'll go and da da da. After we cooked dinner, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so tired. Like, I could go to bed right now. And it was only 8 o'clock. So, definitely been that for me too. And just really listening to myself. That's something I've been really trying to do. Like, if my body's tired and people want to do things or go out, whatever, like, that's always going to be there. I need to listen to myself and what I need. And I was just so happy to sit in the house. Oh my gosh. Actually, recently, I've been watching this show on Peacock called The Americas.
Hmm.
Have you seen it?
No.
So it's like animal documentaries. And it is so fascinating. I'm not even kidding. Talk about mindless TV. I've actually
Yeah.
been into that more than I have been reality TV. They talk about like the animals mating and the horses and just like it's all the animals of North America. They go from like Canada to like the bottom of Mexico. And I'm like, that's what I want to do tonight. So that's what I did. And Mackenzie actually made fun of me the first time I turned it on. But last night she was like, whoa, this is fascinating. I was like, see? It's good. This is fascinating. But yeah, really just listening to myself, listening to what I need, and really just taking the time for myself, especially with this period of me going into a birthday and making that shift into the new year of life. I feel like I cry every single year on my birthday because I just feel the weight of the shift. And this year I'm so excited. I don't know. I feel like this year is really going to be a breakthrough and so many things are going to be shifting and so much growth is going to happen in my 26th year because I'm moving out of that midpoint in my 20s.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this retrograde definitely feels like it's hitting different than others, but in a good way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the last retrograde, the one in December, hit me really hard. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah.
this one has been more just like slow down. And also, I
Mm-hmm.
think it was harder because the last retrograde was during the holidays too. So it was like you were forced to be in different situations, you're forced to travel, things like that. But this one, it was nice to just have the opportunity to chill. And I joked to Luke last week, I was like, listen, if we're gonna get our money's worth on one thing, it's our rent. Because we are always home.
See, that's the thing. I'm like, Mackenzie, we are not home enough, okay? Like, I don't know if it's just me, but in the beginning of the year, because there's so much going on in other parts of the year, if you think about it, like for me personally, as soon as March hits, life starts to speed up. And it
Yeah.
really doesn't slow down for me until January of the next year because March, usually in college, it was like spring break time, and then it was my birthday, and then it's like Easter, and then it's May, and then like I just feel like everybody starts traveling, and then there's like 4th of July, Juneteenth, and I just feel like there's a cruise, there's a trip, there's a that, and then
Yeah.
after the summer, it's holidays. So then you have all these holidays planned out, all of these parties, these events that you have to go to, and things like that. And then you have New Year's Eve, which banger itself right there. Even if you don't do anything, the night itself is just always like,
It's
there's
a
always something
party.
going on. Exactly. So then for me, January, February, mid March, I'm like, don't ask me to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. Because did we not just have 8 months worth of everything we could have ever done?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I feel like once it starts to get warm out, that's when travel starts. That's when you're really making plans, you're seeing people, you're out of the house. I do feel like
Mm-hmm.
there's a slow part in September though. Like, when it
Oh,
starts to get a
okay.
little, it's different down south, but at least up north, like once it started to get a little bit crisp outside, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start lighting candles. I'm gonna start making soups, and then it's like football Sunday starts. So you know what I mean? I feel like there's a little bit of a chill period, but October through um, when's the last month? January
These
is just crazy.
No, I definitely feel that. And that's interesting that you say that because you really haven't lived in the South that much.
Mm-hmm.
So I see how that slowdown could happen usually in September. But I was going to say, like, in the South is when I take advantage, when I've always kind of taken advantage of like things slowing down. So that's when I'll go. Like, that's when we'll do our last boat days. That's when we'll do maybe
Yeah.
one last getaway trip because the kids are back in school and whatever. So we've always taken advantage of that last month. And it is at Labor Day too.
Yeah, Labor Day weekends, the beginning of
Lord,
September. Yeah.
you know? So yeah, I don't know. I feel like this, because one of my friends went on a trip to Belize last week, and I was like, you're going somewhere in March? Like, I couldn't comprehend it. I'm like, what? You don't want to wait until this period ramps up, you know? So
But
Yeah.
I feel like when I was living up north, it was like you wanted to go to on vacation during those winter months because at least in Massachusetts, winter is basically from early November to early April. So you want to go on a trip in like January, February because at that point it's still snowing and you're just sick of it and you want to go somewhere warm.
Yeah, that's so wild to me because I've never ever lived in the North. The most North I've ever lived is Virginia, which some people would still consider the South, but living in Georgia, Virginia's North, obviously, of Georgia, but even in Virginia, it starts to get like 60 degrees in April.
Yeah.
So for winter to still be in April, I think I'd cry, and that just is proof that I don't know I could live. I don't think I could live that north because I
Yeah.
love my warm months.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like moving down here, it's just you're happier longer because the winter is only a few months. Like even
hmm
in there were so many days in January or December that it was warm enough where I could still do my daily walk. And that
Yeah.
just being able to get outside helps so much with like mental clarity, feeling like you're not just glued to a screen all day, especially if you work from home. And I think that has been a game changer for my mental health is just having more nice warm days.
So what would you do when you lived up north and it was cold? Were you just in the house all the time?
Yep.
Really?
And that's why I
Hmm.
got a walking pad because I literally started to gain weight because the days I was still going to the gym, but if you're not getting your steps in and you're just sitting all day, like that's not enough. At least not for me.
hmm
So
hmm
I just like started to gain weight because it was too cold to even step outside. Like it'd be 8 degrees outside, and at that point, you're not going to go on a walk.
8 degrees.
Yeah,
Did you like eight?
808. Ow! Stop biting my ankles.
Okay. Honestly, the coldest I feel like I've ever experienced is 20. And that feels freezing to me.
I mean, that's so
Yeah, I'm not
cold.
going anywhere. It's still cold, but like 8 degrees is a lot colder. That is insane.
Yeah,
Wow.
especially okay, I noticed living in a city is a lot harder up north because like Boston and New York are cities where you can't really drive. You can't have a car there
Yeah.
because you can't I mean, I had a car, but you can't park it anywhere besides your house because you have to pay for it and you'd pay like
hmm
$100 to park for a few hours.
a
So,
$100.
yes. So,
That's insane.
you have to walk everywhere or take the train,
hmm
but you still have to walk to take the train. So it was just when you're living in the city and it's cold, you don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. Well, they say that's why in Chicago people are so happy in the summer because they have all of those months of just like cold, dark, windy, like misery almost. And
Yeah.
then when it's the summertime, it's not like 110 degrees like it is in the South. It's like a very nice summer weather.
Yeah.
So people are so happy. They're so excited to be outside. Yeah. Okay. Well, I love Chicago and it's one of my favorite cities, but I don't know that I could live there for that reason. And obviously, I know that it gets that cold, but when you actually say that to me, I can't imagine 8 degrees. Like, literally, I think the coldest here it has gotten is maybe 42, like
No, it's definitely
40
been colder
ish.
than that.
Maybe on the days that it snowed, but I don't step outside on those days. So I mean, I can't really recall. It might have been 35 when it snowed here a couple months ago, or in January, I think it was. But even then, like, that's not 8 degrees,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Okay, I'm curious. What is your honest opinion of living in Atlanta? Because you've lived there for a few years now.
Ooh, tea. Actually, I have so many opinions about living in Atlanta because I don't know if you know this, but I've actually lived here for 8 years now.
Really?
Yeah, so I moved to Atlanta in 2021. Wait, is that 8 years? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25.
No.
Okay, so it's 5 years.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
You moved in
no, I moved here in
2020.
2017. 2017. So the year that I graduated high school, yeah, it was 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So 8 years, yeah. And within the last 8 years, I think I've experienced every single part of living in Atlanta. I've experienced living outside of the city, commuting into the city every day. I've experienced living in the very nice part of the city because when I first got my apartment, I had to live in Buckhead. So I lived in Buckhead, which was great. I loved it. I also now have experienced living in Midtown, and I've experienced living. So I've literally experienced every single part of Atlanta that you can. I've experienced moving here and not knowing people. I've experienced moving here and having a huge group of friends. I've experienced living here with a partner. And I feel like my soul needed this because I wanted to live here so badly before I lived here. And I was like, I want it. I want the experience. Like, I called that. Like, I would say it all the time. I want the full Atlanta experience. I've
And you
ran
got
into
it.
celebrities. Yeah, I've done it all. I have done it all. And honestly, it's not for everybody. That's what I'll say. Atlanta is one of those cities, and this breakdown is actually one that Mackenzie and I talk about very often. Atlanta's Black Hollywood. And I say that to say because a lot of people don't enjoy LA because it is the Hollywood. People move there for opportunities, people move there to level up, to meet that person, to get the new job. And when you live in an area where that is a lot of the goal, you experience people that are less genuine because their main goal is not to find community and to become a better version of themselves. Their goal is like money driven, career
Yeah.
driven, success driven, which is fine. I just realized me growing up in the suburbs, community means more to me than all of that because community is where it starts. Starts with yourself, obviously, but then your community is what helps you grow and become and develop and network and things like that. That is just what I've always lived by. The people that you call your friends, the people you surround yourself by really make you who you are, and that's what you lean into. In Atlanta, it's so much more than that. Your job, like as soon as you meet somebody here, it's what do you do? Not where are you from, whatever. It's like, what do you do? Oh, you do
Yeah.
this? Oh, so do I. Oh, let's connect, whatever. That's fine. Cool. It's fun for a little bit. But as I But as I grow and heal and become a different version of myself, I'm realizing that I crave that sense of genuine community so much. And you really have to kind of get out of the city to experience that. I've had a lot of experiences here where, like I said, I had a huge friend group and then I've stepped away from it because I realized maybe it isn't what I need in this period of my life. And so right now I am in the period of really leaning into good people, good community, and just like loving the space we're in. Mackenzie and I, actually, the friend group that we have now, we met through mutual friends. Through pickleball, Mackenzie just like hit it off with this guy, and they were gonna go play dodgeball together. Then they invited us to pickleball, and all of the people in this group are not from here. Funny thing is, majority of the people are from the same areas that we are from.
Mm.
Like, some of our friends grew up in Virginia. One of the couples lived in Virginia Beach.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so we're realizing there is a certain group of people that we really connect with, and it's the people that have also grown up in similar environments as us. So they have similar mindsets of like, we're just friends hanging out, and if we benefit from this friendship or can network or whatever, cool. But like, if not, that's not why we're friends.
Yeah.
And I feel like within the last 8 years, I've really experienced people that are like, I only want to be your friend if you can help me get to the next level or if you can give me something that I'm looking for. And that's something hard to take when you're not that person that like seeks out friendship for that reason. It's definitely been a journey for me. I've learned so much about myself and what I want in life and what I want in a partner and friendships in my community and my tribe. But I am not even going to lie when I say I'm ready to go back to the suburbs. Or at least
Yeah.
be in an environment that allows me to have that connection, and like have those small groups and, things like that. I feel like being where you are in Charlotte, it felt so homey, whereas Atlanta easily feels very overwhelming just by
Yeah.
everything that goes on. Like, you literally can't park in a random place and leave things in your car without your car potentially getting broken into, your windows getting smashed. Like,
Oh my
that's just
gosh.
Atlanta. Yeah, it's insane. Like, when we throw parties, we're like, Uber here or don't leave anything in your car because there's a good chance it could get broken into. Extremely unfortunate, but that's the joys of living here. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I
it is
feel
what it
like you
is.
reach a certain point where you're like, okay, the city gave me what I needed, but now it's time for me to like go back to the suburbs.
Yeah, literally. And because we're still young and we don't plan to like have kids anytime soon, and like I say, we're so spontaneous, we love being near an airport. We still want to live close to a city, but we live in the hustle and bustle. And I've always lived in the hustle and bustle since I moved here, and moved out from living with my mom. So I'm just ready for a calmer life. I want a backyard. I want to be able to plant, at least attempt to. Listen, can I show you my snake plant for a second? Okay, so I need to preface this by saying I didn't realize it was this bad until we had friends over and they were like, Nyia, what is that? Like, what is going on there? Um, so this is my snake plant,
I don't think
right?
that's bad.
I don't know how it hasn't died, and I actually don't know why it looks like this.
Why don't you
Um,
plant it?
I did. I thought I did.
You didn't. That's not planted.
I feel so bad for her. Like, I need to fix it. I need
Yeah,
to
you
fix
need
her
to go
because
to Home
her
Depot and get some something. I don't know.
like my friend was like, Naya, I don't understand how she's so healthy. I was like, it's because I sage in here. But poor thing. Like, are these rotted roots? I literally don't know.
Why is it just stranded like that?
Listen, this has dirt. It has so much dirt in it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, I say that to say I want to learn how to garden. I want to learn how to take care of plants, clearly. Yeah, there are so many things that I want to do in this new year, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think it's like exciting to look forward to the next chapter. And it again just always is like, I can't believe I'm at this phase in life. I feel like I say that to myself a million times a day. And when you start to see the transition of like, wow, I'm feeling like I want to start gardening, or I'm feeling like I want to not drink this weekend, that's how you know you're getting old.
No, seriously. I'm like, I don't know where these adjustments have suddenly sprouted in me where I'm like, I want to do all of these things that last year, if you asked me this, I'd be like, plant what? Plant who?
You're like, girl, you're crazy.
Like, right. But how has it been for you living in Charlotte? Like, how has that adjustment been? I know this is your first time in the South too, which is so much more of an adjustment as well. But
But actually, most people from Charlotte, at least where we live, are from either New York or Boston, which is where Luke and I are from. So
transplants.
I feel like Charlotte is a very big transplant city. So it really hasn't been a cultural shift. I mean, except when we're on the highway and we see the Confederate flag, that's a little like you don't see that up north, but
Eh, right.
but yeah, I think so. I lived in Boston for a year, and living there was, I feel like, more of a city vibe because it's just like, again, you can't really drive anywhere. You take the train. So I was doing a lot of that. I was doing public transportation alone. I was walking the city alone. You know, you have to walk all of your groceries home. And having that was definitely the city vibe. And I enjoyed it, but it did very much feel like a concrete jungle in that
Mm,
you almost feel sort of trapped because
mm-hmm.
not really being able to drive easily places does make you feel that way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so and also Boston is just very congested. Like if you do drive, it will take you sometimes 45 minutes to drive 2 miles. So on the weekdays I worked from home, but I literally couldn't go anywhere after work because it was like if I wanted to go to the gym, I would have sat in traffic for 30 minutes just to go there. So in a way I did feel like kind of trapped. So it was
Mm-hmm.
definitely nice coming to Charlotte where it's just a lot more low key. I can walk and go to Solid Core. Literally, Solid Core is like a 2-minute walk from my house. But I can also drive 5 minutes to go to the grocery store. You know what I mean? I feel a lot like looser and more free here. And also everyone's just super active where I live. We do have the rail trail where everyone's running, walking their dogs all day long. So I think day to day living here has just been very nice, at least mental health wise. Everyone's out and about. There's so many good restaurants and a lot of people our age. Um, I would say like if you're someone that likes the hustle and bustle, Charlotte might not be the city for you because it is a little bit more of a suburban city.
Yeah. Yeah, I was giving suburbs
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
But I really like it. I think that if you're considering making a big move, like just do it. There was so many people that told Luke and I, you guys are crazy. Like, what are you doing? Why would you move so far away from everything you know? But at the end of the day, if you're feeling called to go somewhere, there's a reason for it. And so just follow it. Don't listen to the opinions of other people. Don't let anyone get in your ear. Like, if you feel like you're meant to be someplace, then go there.
Yeah, and I feel like just like I said with my Atlanta journey, I've learned so much about myself, and I can imagine where I would be if I didn't experience all of these things, making the big move to a city, experiencing all aspects of the city, and following a dream that I had. And now I feel like I can say I did it. I experienced it. I learned what I needed to learn while being here, and I have zero regrets.
Yeah, no
You know?
regrets, no regrets.
No regrets. What's that movie? Is it like the
Neighbors?
family?
No.
Is it Neighbors?
I
It's
don't
something
know.
about the family. They go on that road trip and then they have like no, they see a guy that has like no regrets on his shirt or hat or
Oh, is
something.
it Little Miss Sunshine? No.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
so.
All right.
It's all
Well,
good.
I have to go play with Mr. Simba because he needs to play.
Oh, well, thank you so much for sharing Simba with us. I can't wait to meet him.
Yes, he's
But
ready.
yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We know that this was a more relaxed, just us chatting kind of episode, but let us know what you guys think about it. I mean, we're open to other topics too, so if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about, feel free to shoot us a message, comment on a post, or I don't know, give us a call, or I don't know,
A
whatever you want to
call.
do. Hit us up.
And yeah, if you guys have any comments, any feedback, please feel free to let us know. We're always open, and we hope you all have a great rest of your week.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in yet again another week of the Love Heart podcast. Love Naya.
Love, Janessa. Bye.
Bye.